Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnston. We're back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored, where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We have a very special guest here today. We're talking all about Instagram and Facebook business pages and how to build a following and generate referrals and all kinds of good stuff. So we have, as always, a lot of ground to cover. I'm joined in the co-pilot seat by the junior grandmaster himself, Greg Mattiano. Greg, what's up today?
Mr. Matt Johnson, I bet you are super happy that I did not break the podcast while you were gone. We were talking about this off air. Matt's like, well, Greg, it's the first time you didn't have to do 5 things all at once, so you made it through. I'm like, dude, I can walk and chew gum too. It's okay. Podcast is not going to be a problem, by the way. But I am glad to have you back, man. It is not the same not having you on. Being boring like these two clowns have been harassing me offline about I need to completely change who I am, stop being me for the hour of the podcast, and then revert back to my charming, wonderful self. So I'm looking forward to this with this call. I may have to behave myself, so I'm sorry for all of you fans and listeners that enjoy me keeping it real and write me and thank me and send me things for being real and not being like everybody else. But just for them, I will calm it down.
Okay. I think Greg, if he has to contain himself for this entire hour, as literally the second I press stop live broadcast, just going to be nothing but a 5-minute long string of obscenities.
If Caitlin was on, it would just be beep, 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 beep.
Exactly. All right. So with that said, while we wait for people to join us live, if you are watching the replay here on YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe. You can also get the audio versions on iTunes and Stitcher so that we can be nestled right here in between your ears where we so belong. And that is how you follow the show. That's right. So let's bring on our special guest, and then we'll take a question, and then we will give out some shout-outs and get into it. So Sarah Johnston from Calgary. Sarah, what's up today?
Hey.
So tell us a little bit about where you're at and what you do and what types of clients you work with real quick.
Well, yeah, I'm a residential realtor in Calgary. I work with a lot of first and second time home buyers, so a lot of people buying their first property and then kind of moving up, working anywhere from about 25 to 45 years old, and that they seem to be my bread and butter.
Nice. What's your average price point up there?
Our average right now is just over 400.
Okay, all right. So and that's in Canadian dollars?
That's in pesos, in Mexican pesos.
Well, I spent 3 days in Ottawa with Jeff Cohn, and the whole time, like every time somebody gives like a reference of sales volume and like average price, all the rest of it, like Jeff is going, so that's in Canada? Is that America or Canada dollars? I'm like, oh my God. It was
take off 25%.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Take off 45%.
So it's pretty close, pretty typical to what the American Midwest is essentially.
Your hometown.
Yeah, that's right. My boring, horrible hometown of Omaha, Nebraska.
At least you guys make good steaks.
We do, and they're so good we ship them all over the place to people like you, Greg.
I know. I had some last night. It was amazing.
Oh, great. Okay.
You guys are talking to a Calgarian. You know all the best steaks come from here.
A Calgarian?
What?
Oh yes.
Oh, right.
The beef? Come on.
All
we
right.
have bumper stickers to prove it.
Oh, you do? I believe bumper stickers.
Therefore, it's true. It must be true.
That's right.
I always
if
trust
somebody's slapping on the back of their car, it must be true.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. Let's take a question real quick, and you guys can both jump in on this. So this is from the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections Facebook group. If you're not already a member, head on over there, and our friend Aaron, who started the group, will approve you because he's nice like that. So Alex Bradley asks, when FSBOs say, I don't need your service, I wouldn't even ask you to bring a buyer because the market is really hot. How do you respond? Greg, we'll start with you, as always.
I say, well, thank you for the verbal tongue lashing. What I would probably say, if they don't even want you to bring a buyer by, is that the question?
That's the context, yeah.
And how to get around that? Dude, you're shit up the creek, man. I mean, if they tell you flat out, Matt, you suck, don't even bring a buyer by, I don't even want to look at your face, I don't even want to work with you, how are you supposed to get around that? The only thing I would say is, like, go against all odds and actually bring them the buyer. I mean,
yeah, that's one way to do it.
It's like, hey, dipshit, are you sure you don't want it? It's right here. It's a buyer. No, I have no answer for you. I mean, I think Sarah's going to just
take that part out of it. Let's just deal with how do you overcome the objection that I feel like I can do it myself because the market is really hot right now, because that is something that, for example, people are dealing with in your area and in my area.
So the thing I would do is I would show them stats, show them real numbers, show them percentages. You know, look, you might think that you don't need me, but in reality, you probably do if you want to make another 19% on top of your current sales price. You know, NAR has shown those numbers to be true. So go print it out with the NAR logo on it. Well, this doesn't really work for you, Sarah. National Association, California. Do you guys have something for that up there? I'm sure you guys do.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay, so go to your.
I think it's actually called the CAR, right? Canadian Association of Realtors.
Yes, well, we do have the Canadian. It's CREA, so Canadian Real Estate Association.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
CAR, maybe. Oh.
CAR, close enough. What it comes down to at the end of the day is they either want to have an offer or they don't, right? It's statistically proven, and like you were saying, Greg, if you want an offer and you want to actually realize the full potential of your property, we've got stats proving that if you're working with a realtor, that you're going to get on average X amount more than trying to sell it yourself. We deal with that a lot in hot markets. People just think, hey, I'm going to go, put it out there and get an offer.
Yeah, it also
You're
comes
more
down
than welcome to do so, but you just lost out. So.
Yeah, it also comes down to showing them their net. So figuring out figure out what they need or want to net out. As soon as we show them how to get to that net, if you can, build in and show them you can get more with using an agent, and they get more than what they were expecting, why wouldn't they? That's bad business not to work with an agent. That's ignorance. That's arrogance. That's just being a jerk off, because they want to prove to themselves that they were right, you were wrong. But at the end of the day, this is what we do for a living. Well, Sarah and I, get up and go into the office every single day. We're professionals at it. We know the ins and outs of it. And it's like I wouldn't go in and get a heart surgeon, who hasn't ever done a heart surgery to work on me. No. It's a bad idea. Same thing with selling a home. It's the same deal. It could kill you if you do it wrong. There's actually a good script in there too, but. Really?
Watch out for death if you sell your house yourself.
If you do it yourself, it can be committing.
Whoa, we're reaching.
There really is a script, damn it.
I'm sure there is.
There is.
That's the surgeon script?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No, you guys think I'm full of it, don't you?
No, I believe there's a script in there somewhere for FSBOs that involves something about professionalism. I think that's about it.
Moving forward.
I think that's all you got. All right. So, all right. Well, we dealt with that question. That's a pretty good one. That's a common one. So, I'm curious, Sarah. I mean, do you deal or go after FSBOs much in your market?
I do. It depends. Right now, our market is completely different than yours, right? We're definitely well entrenched in a buyer's market, so our market is not considered hot right now. And it's funny to actually see the number of people that were trying to sell properties themselves just kind of jump on the realtor train, right? As soon as things get a little bit difficult, they're coming to us right away. I don't mind representing or dealing with somebody that is selling their property themselves. I find it very rare that I will walk forward and say, listen, I have a very qualified buyer. I've taken them through all of the steps already. And for somebody to say, no, you can't show the home. If we're basically on your doorstep and I'm saying this buyer is qualified and wants a property exactly like yours, it's very rare that anybody will say, no, I don't even want you to show it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Totally get that. Okay. All right. And just a quick word. So this is something that I learned while I was up there. So you guys are not really allowed to go after expired listings. Like it's not even they're not listed. They're not publicized, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
That is correct. Yes. Once they come off the market, they're off the market.
Yeah. Cool.
Really?
So for anybody that's in the States, like we have no idea like what's different. There was a couple of interesting things that I found out this weekend. Expireds are one of them. Having to show up and be there for the inspection is another thing. There's just some. I mean, they're not really huge differences. There's not a lot that separate the Canadian real estate market in terms of the mechanics of how business is done. I mean, it's not like South Africa or Australia or something where it's an auction system. So pretty much everything that we're going to talk about applies. But those are a couple of things that I did notice were a little bit different. So it's not like you can just hop on the phones and start hitting the expireds,
So wait, hold on. I want to back up for a second. You have to be at all the inspections?
Okay, guys. We realize I'm on here to talk about Instagram. Have you looked at my account?
Actually,
yes. how many hours and days of my life I spend dying sitting through inspections.
That's the worst thing.
My favorite thing to do is My favorite thing to do is to come up with something to do at an inspection. Half my posts are about what I'm doing at an inspection.
I'm bored senseless. I need to do something. Holy Christ.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
So that's a giant yes to that. All right.
Giant yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Well, Greg, do you have any shout-outs to give real quick to people you're talking to this week or talked to last week before we get into the main stuff?
Yeah, dude. I have been talking to amazing people as usual, man. I've made a decision that no longer is Facebook going to be a private thing for me in any way, shape, or form. It is going to be 100% a business thing. So I made a decision last Saturday evening when I was sitting at my brother's house, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make it a full-blown business thing. I've added over 1,000 people in the last 7 days to my Facebook, so I can start. So I'm getting more and more interactions with folks. Amazing when it comes to the Facebook Lives and getting people to interact. So a lot of good conversations. I had a really good conversation with a gal named Sophia. Sophia, what is up? Knuckle punch to you. Get some time to hang with her like a month or two now. We're so booked up, dude, for the McDaniel Challenge. It's not even funny. Josh Bryan, remember he took the 60-day challenge, went down to different Starbucks and all that goodness, and was meeting people. Okay. Picked up a $500,000 buyer within 3 days. That buyer just referred him another buyer equal or greater than that of the first one. So that's just for getting coffee, guys. He's already killing it. Mark, I just talked to you. What's up, man? Thanks for serving our country. In the Air Force, and I look forward to talking with you in May. And then, let's see here, what else do I have? I have one more. I know, oh well, I can't remember what it is. But you're an awesome human, whoever you are.
All right, so what's the McDaniel Challenge?
So the McDaniel Challenge is when you guys use those things called opposable thumbs, and when you properly do so, this thing rings. It's called my cell phone. It's my private one. I don't have another one. You can reach me at 925-915-1978. Matt, you missed me. Admit it. You're sitting there shaking your head just on, oh my God, what am I doing? But get a free hour with me, guys. Or actually, it ends up to be like an hour and a half. Generally, and we get to come on and we get to do a free coaching call and just kick back, relax. We get to hang out, we get to know each other, and I get to answer any questions you may have, any things that may be stopping you or blocking you from, being who you are and where you want to be in your business. Just come on in, guys. It's usually like an hour and a half. We'll grab a beer or a glass of wine or something together and just chillax. Maya. I think I said that right. I hope so. If not, sorry. Looking forward to kicking it with you tonight. I really, really cannot wait. It's going to be an absolute blast. So, McDaniel Challenge, take it. Don't be yourself. I had to dial that.
Don't be yourself. Okay. All right. And then, so for me, for shout-outs, very quickly, Viral Marketing. Just want to thank them for making hangouts and podcasts like these happen. Check them out at getviral.com. And then, so I was up in Canada speaking with Jeff Cohn this weekend we actually took his team building workshop on the road. So if you're interested in attending the actual Real Deal workshop in Omaha, where it shows you exactly how to build a dominant real estate team, just go over to jeffsworkshop.com. Or you can go to reupodcast.com/Jeff and get more details on that. And what are you saying, Greg? What are you mumbling over there? You want to go?
I'm going to go.
Pony up the money and go.
I have to pay.
Yeah, you have to pay.
I'm not going anymore.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, and then for anybody that doesn't already get the Tuesday Tactics and Takeaways email, you can go to our website, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com, and subscribe to that. So with that said, Instagram. You ready?
Me?
Instagram.
Instagram.
I'm going to Instagram all over you.
All right, Sarah. So you've got this broken down into.
We have to explain to Greg what this is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the podcasting thing, right? When you type in things, right?
Yeah, close. Yeah, close.
Close as you're so far is not even funny, McDaniel. All right, educate the uneducated as like Matt is.
As Greg is. So Instagram, I mean, essentially all you're doing it super easy, super fast. You're putting down your life and story in pictures and 15-second video clips. It's an easy way to interact, and honestly, I don't have the attention span for Facebook. I find it takes up far too much time, and so Instagram is just something that has resonated with me.
I don't have the attention for Facebook. I have to actually concentrate for the whole 30 seconds in a row.
Exactly. Whereas with Instagram, 15 seconds or less. You've got this.
So a question about the 15 seconds. Can you string them together, or is it just 15 seconds and it's not like a Snapchat where you can string them together, or is it one-offs?
It's one-offs. I mean, you can go from one to the other, but honestly, videos on Instagram is sort of the next step. I advise everybody just to start with pictures and a little short write-up, and then get into the videos. I mean, I've made 15-second videos and just sort of put a whole bunch of clips together and gotten it that way, so that it doesn't have to be just one long 15-second rant. Because let's be honest, me talking for 15 seconds in a row, I'm going to mess something up. So
you're doing so well so far on the podcast, though.
Much like Greg, we need to start and stop it all the time.
I feel a friendship bonding here. Do you guys feel this as well? I feel this.
We're so close, so close.
I've come so far in such a short amount of time.
That's right. Oh, and by the way, so Instagram just raised their video limit, by the way.
Oh, 60 seconds.
Yeah.
60 seconds, which I'm going to be a late adapter to that one.
Well, 15 seconds was a problem, so 60. Holy cow!
I was going to say, I think that's the minimum Greg can talk. I don't know, Greg, that you can complete a sentence that takes less than 60 seconds.
Oh, it's actually true. I get yelled at when I do the radio show. They're like, Greg, short and concise. I'm like, but I got so much to say, man. Anyways.
Yeah.
See,
and the thing is when people are looking through their Instagram and they're looking at people they're following, they're not going to sit on your picture or on your video for 60 seconds. So at this point in time, I'd advise against putting those long, boring things out there and just make it short and to the point.
Greg,
once again,
stop being boring. You're boring me.
What?
Just thinking about listening to you for 60 seconds is boring.
Look, pipe down, you two. I'm gonna have to talk.
So start with pictures and a little bit of write-up, and then experiment with very, very short video clips.
Exactly.
Okay.
Are we there?
Greg, what are you doing?
He's still stuck on the 15-second video.
I am.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so.
All right. So, any other tips for how to use it and how to get started?
I mean, once you get started, you want to start adding. Obviously, you want to start adding some of your Facebook friends. You want to start tagging your photos and really getting into hashtags. I mean, I've got an entire list of essentially, 1 to 15 of how-to for dummies.
Okay.
I can pass over to Greg afterwards if you'd like.
Let's talk about the few ways that Instagram has really changed your business first, and give people for the people that are not already on it or have just opened an account to dabble in it and haven't really jumped on the bandwagon. Let's give them the reasons why they need to jump on the bandwagon. So let's start there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, my work Instagram is really, I started it 10 months ago, and when I started, and if you look at a few of the first posts that I put up, they were boring. They were like realtor, like haha, funny realtor jokes that you think are funny, but they're not really funny. They're not really that engaging to anybody that's not a realtor, and they don't really show who you are. All they show is that you can copy and paste some content, and congratulations to me and moving on. I didn't really realize what Instagram could do for me until about 6 months ago. So throughout this kind of evolution of it, and it's really been a short period of time, I've been able to increase my business through national referrals. I've increased the client confidence I have with my current clients and previous clients. Those relationships have actually gotten quite a bit stronger, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but I will explain that. And I have completely changed mentally how I've looked at a down market. So as I had alluded to earlier, the market that I'm facing right now is vastly different to the market that you guys are in. And our market is not fantastic. And a lot of it kind of comes down to where your brain and where your head is. And the market's sort of in your mind and not really out there. And I've noticed that. And I've seen it change how I deal with things. I've been in the business for 10 years. It's taken me up until now to really grab a hold of that and realize that I can still do well in any market.
It's actually a really, really important thing. I mean, a lot of people, they fight the biggest battle, and it's between their ears, not out in front of you or anything else. Once you overcome that hurdle, and I am literally sitting here taking notes because a lot of what you're going to disseminate down to me, thank God, I will finally understand this whole friggin' thing. Well,
it's the why, right?
Yeah.
So it's well, why bother doing this? I've had Facebook for how many years, and it didn't really connect with me until Instagram was able to connect through it. So it really wasn't me or my personality, and I wasn't getting a lot of traction through Facebook. And you're throwing up the same pictures of, oh, here's a new listing, and I just sold this, and I just helped these people. And you're wondering, okay, well, why isn't it moving forward? What am I doing wrong here, and what can I do differently? And with Instagram, those reasons really started to make themselves apparent and to show themselves. And I can honestly say that it has completely changed the way that I do things. Obviously, I still have, I've got my business and that I've been working on for a long time, but it's given me a little bit of an edge, and it's given me that push to really stay motivated and to continue working and to realize that I'm not alone, right? A lot of realtors were out there, we're working, and a lot of times you feel like you are on your own, doing your own thing in your own business. You realize very quickly that you are not. There's a lot of people out there that are supporting you, and a lot of times it comes from realtors that are all over the country.
That's interesting, and it's totally true. It is a very lonely business at times. Majority of the time, it's pretty damn lonely. Now, how has it transformed you from being lonely to not being lonely, girl? Is it through the photos? like you're connecting with other people, or?
It's from all the creepy dates that I get asked on because of it. No.
That wouldn't be lonely.
Greg, stop doing that.
I only asked her twice.
Stop,
I don't understand why she hasn't
like that. I know it's you.
I know it's you, buddy. I know it's you. All those profiles.
I know it's you. You just realize that you've got a lot of support out there, right? I really believe in sharing my ideas and being open to this, just because I don't believe in the scarcity principle. I believe that there's enough work in business for all of us.
Yeah.
And until I really started to take that stand, you don't realize that there are other people out there that are going through the same things and are looking for the same type of support. I think the new way of doing business in real estate isn't just trying to keep everything close to you and not let people know what you're doing or what's going on. I've noticed with a lot of the younger agents coming into the business that they're very open to sharing of ideas, and that can give you ideas and help grow your business authentically, which I really think is the future.
So, quick question for you. When it comes to hashtags, I want to back that up for a second. A lot of the older generation, I guess I would be in that category. And look at a hashtag, you're like, what the is that thing? I don't need a telephone number, but it's.
So how do I dial that?
Excuse me.
Do I like circle like
rotary? No, but so we were talking to Rod. He's out of San Diego. I don't know if you even watched any of our shows. If you haven't, I'm sorry. You're missing out. If you haven't. But we did one with Rod, and he talked about Instagram and how he tied it into his Twitter, and how it really helped him dominate in a local market, and how you can take over from a dominant agent for free using this. Have you taken the approach of using one hashtag and then just crushing it, or do you like hashtag the schnozzle out of everything?
I have a rule for myself, and it's only because going through other people's posts, I get really annoyed if I see more than 10 hashtags. So I'm a 10 or less type girl. The people that have so many hashtags that essentially you need to scroll down to the next page, it's a pet peeve. Not only is it a pet peeve, but I'm probably not going to like their picture just because that annoys me.
I actually have to have the same exact train of thought. I actually get pissed. I'm like, who gives a shit how many hashtags you're going to put in here? Just let's move on.
There's a few that I find work really well, only because I like looking them up. So there's a few hashtags that I use, and I put them in all of my posts. Other than that, and if you've looked at any of my posts, I make up hashtags all the time. So if I'm sitting there just kind of making fun of something, I'll be like, Sarah at a home inspection. She's bored again. Home inspection yoga. And just making stuff up that nobody in their right mind has actually hashtagged, but I've got my 2 hashtags in that I use all the time. And to me, that's all that matters. Other than that, honestly, I have a lot of fun with it, and I think it's just funny.
You should do not lonely girl hashtag, or
not lonely girl.
Not lonely girl.
I wasn't aware that I was so lonely until right now, but
that's what I'm here. Finally, we're getting to your deep roots, and I'm so glad that we've had this breakthrough.
I should be sitting on a couch right now.
You should on a Chase Lounge, just relaxing, nice soothing music coming over you, a very friendly, environment. Yes.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Sarah. So let's go a little bit deeper on hashtags. So, for example, you've got one where you're using the hashtag YYC, and then you've got Calgary and YYC living. So explain some of the theory behind the local hashtags, and are you getting people that are actually finding you by searching those hashtags?
Yes. So I break my hashtags down into 2 groups. So the ones that I use often, and then the funny ones. In the ones that I use often, I always use, say, realtor, life, and realtor. And then, depending on what I'm doing, I want to tie it into my local community so that people within Calgary, in and of itself, can actually find me. If I'm doing something really embarrassing, sometimes I don't do that. I prefer that they not find me. But any city or any community that you're in usually has, say, YYC is Calgary's airport code, and we've got YYCRE, which is obviously Calgary real estate. So a lot of the bigger centers will have whatever the airport code is and then RE after it, and that's how you connect with a lot of other realtors, but then you're seeing all of those listings so that people that are actually looking for real estate within that local market will be able to find it. They'll be able to find you.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, so I think that's what Rod was talking about. So he was able to find a couple of neighborhoods in San Diego where he, dominated in the sense that he went out and took pictures on location and then would hashtag them according to that specific neighborhood because he found a hashtag that people were actually using to keep track of what was going on in that actual community. So that's where it works, is when you find the pre-existing hashtags that people are actually using and then tie your stuff in with that hashtag, right?
Exactly. It works really well when there's events going on, right? So if there's hockey games going on, Canadian, so I'm going to bring up hockey.
Like hockey.
But if there's hockey games...
Is that a sport?
Next thing we're going to do ice curling next.
Now wait. So I was in Ottawa, and they were talking about how they were going to do. They're getting together for a real estate party, and after that they were going curling. And I was just making that up. I had to try to not laugh, and then I realized that they were serious.
Sarah's like, this podcast is over.
Have you tried? Have you tried drunk curling? It's not as easy as it looks.
I believe that. That's about the same as drunk shuffleboard and drunk pool and drunk darts, except it's probably less dangerous than drunk darts.
Yes.
True. And they're yelling things at each other like sweet, push harder. It's an interesting little game.
It does seem interesting.
But it takes place on the ice, and I'm led to believe, at least from my upbringing, that ice is cold.
It is?
Right? Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah. I have no desire to ever see ice and snow again, ever, for as long as I live.
I do.
You're brilliant. Brilliant.
If I could fly all of my parents and family out to California for Christmas, I would. Make it a green Christmas every year.
You're a genius, man. You didn't even know it.
Yeah, that's right.
You are a genius. Ice is cold.
Water's wet.
Okay, so events. So hashtagging around events. So let's get back to that. So how are you keeping track of that? I mean, obviously a hockey game, so if you follow it naturally, you'll know when the games are. But let's say there's other community events going on. How are you keeping track of that so you know when there's a hashtag trending that you can jump on?
You just have to be aware of what's going on in your community, especially if there's certain areas or certain communities that you're really on top of. You're going to know when they have a summer fair, when they've got parades or action or different events going on, music festivals. You're going to know when this goes on. You need to keep on top of those current events. And then you're going to find very easily what the hashtags are for them. I usually do it and find the hashtags by looking for the location first. So if it's a music event, I know there's a music event and, say it's at a certain venue. So I'll actually look up the location for the venue, and then you're going to see all of the recent pictures that were posted from that venue. You look through those pictures, and you'll see what people are using to hashtag it, and that's how you find the hashtag.
Okay. So San Francisco, we do a lot of stuff in Golden Gate Park, right?
Right.
So you'd want to search Golden Gate Park, hashtag Golden Gate, something like that, and go search that location, or?
I'd actually do it by a location search. So it's different than just a hashtag search. So you'd actually go to the location itself. So when people can tag where they are, so they're in a picture and they've tagged it and it shows up in blue underneath.
I do now.
The heading of the picture. There you go. So that's because they're tagging themselves as being at that location. So you actually want to look under that location, not just the hashtag, and then you're going to see everything, all of the recent events, right? Because some locations are going to have a few events going on at the same time.
Okay, so treat me like a 3-year-old. I'm on...
Done.
I'm on your Instagram, right now, and I'm trying to figure out like where would I find this look? I'm being deadly serious. Where do I find this like location thing? Because that for me that would help a lot to understand this. The reason why I don't do this and a lot of other folks don't do this because I don't freaking get it, and I want to understand. Teach me, Sarah.
All you need to do is sit down with a glass of wine and play around on it. For a
and a
little bit.
15-year-old, and they'll have you squared away.
I would recommend the just not sitting down with a glass of wine and a 15-year-old at the same time.
Thank you, Matt. That sounds so bad when you say that.
Yeah.
That sounds so bad. First,
so when you're searching by location, right? So you go to the search function. Are you searching by hashtag something, or removing the hashtag? And
exactly. So when you go to the search function, you've got a few options. You've got people, tags, and places, and you go to the places and you search the place. So you're searching by location.
Okay, gotcha.
Dude, I'm so freaking lost. Okay, moving forward.
Moving along.
Moving forward. This will
All right, so let's dig into some of the other of the 15 tips that you have for the nuts and bolts of how to use Instagram.
For sure. So add a location if you can, right? So that you're then identifying yourself with that area. The other thing that I like to do is add a location for your business. So my office, if I'm sitting at my office and I'm posting something, I can actually add a location, and the location says Adventures in Calgary Real Estate, Sarah Johnston. So even though my office is called Maxwell Canyon Creek, which is the brokerage I'm with, it will show up as Adventures in Real Estate, Sarah Johnston. And you can do that by tagging yourself through Google. So, and you can do it on Facebook. So, on Facebook, when you come up with your address, your business address, so whatever you've got in there, it will slowly work its way online so that I can actually I'm a location now on Instagram.
Yeah. So this is a good SEO strategy for teams. So if you have a real estate team, I don't care if it's just you and an assistant or in a couple of buyers agents. If you set up a Google Places or a Google Business page, set one up for each and every team member on the team, and flag it, like link it to the same office address. And when people go to search for your brokerage, you will actually come up. Not only just the brokerage, if they're smart enough to have their own Google Places or business page, but so will all of yours. And that will help. If you link it up with your website, you'll get a little bit of SEO juice out of that.
Exactly. And I've done that. And the funny thing is I unknowingly did that just because everything that I put forward was just that address and my business name, which, is all my social media names. So I actually come up as a location now as my Instagram name, which is kind of fun.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the other thing that I did to initially kind of increase my following is I went through the hashtags that I use often, and I started liking a lot of other people's posts. So you need to interact with others in order for them to interact with you, especially when you're first starting out. You can't just put a picture on there and you're going to get 2 or 3 likes. So anytime that I post something, I know that for the next 10 or 15 minutes, I'm just on Instagram, and I'm going through and I'm interacting with the people I follow, and I'm interacting with the the hashtags that I use often.
I actually did that when I first started going. I talked to Rod after our first interview. It's labor intensive. But I mean, he said that go through, and I'm assuming you do this as well. But you go through and you if Greg made a post and we just became friends, or whatever it's called on Instagram, it's a post. Then you would go back and Rod would say he would go back and like all of the photos in someone's role. That not?
I don't do that because you know exactly what people are doing. It's the same thing. Like, you're gonna get certain businesses that follow you and like all of your posts, and then as soon as they realize that you're not following them back, they unfollow you. So you don't get any type of authentic interaction from that. That's my opinion. Sometimes I'll go back and I'll say, hey, I actually really liked these posts, and I'll like 2 or 3. But I'm not gonna be essentially fake about it and just like all of theirs and follow them, and then if they don't follow me, unfollow them. I don't like that way of going about it. I prefer a little bit more of an authentic approach.
Yeah. Question for you: do you think that the filters and everything else that they have on Instagram, is that something that you should be using a lot? Or would you prefer or like to see people just do raw photos? What do you do the most?
Never underestimate the power of a filter. That being said, you can tell when a picture has been, too many filters have been applied to it. People end up looking fake, the properties end up looking fake. I prefer something that's a little bit more natural. I don't use a lot of the Instagram filters, but I will edit some pictures through an app called Snapseed.
Snapseed?
Snapseed, it's all one word. Fantastic photo editing app.
I just heard about Snapseed the other day, actually. Never used it. So you recommend it, obviously?
Yeah,
for
well,
photos?
that's because I have no new or interesting information to give you.
Conversation over.
That's right.
And we're done.
Greg just shoulder rolled out the window, just went right home to crack a beer.
Don't give away my
but yeah,
secrets,
so I'll use Snapseed, and then I'll put things onto Instagram because everybody's seen all of those filters, and some of them are really bad and really fake. And the whole point of Instagram is to share your story and to share who you are. Well, you can't tell if all of a sudden I'm orange, right? And that happens. Like, oh, look at my fake tan. Like, I'm Canadian. It's winter. It's cold. I don't have a tan.
She is so full of shit. There's no way she has that tan.
That's right. That color of tan is not found in nature.
Exactly, but it is on Instagram.
That's right.
Oh, that's funny. So I mean,
I
I'm like you. I mean, so okay. So let me wrap my old brain around this here. So just post as much as you possibly can. I mean, is there a too much posting?
No. Yes. Yes.
No. Yes. Yes. No.
I don't think at any point she said post as much as you can.
I'm asking, man.
That was that all came from in here, Greg.
Don't do that. I will unfollow people if they're the type to put up 10 pictures a day. And they're like 10 of the same pictures, but maybe the angle's a little bit different, and then I did this and this and this. I don't want a running commentary. I want a few decent pictures. I keep it to a maximum of 3 a day, but most of the time it's 1.
Okay. So just do it in moderation. Don't go for quantity. Go for quality.
Yeah,
basically what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. There's a reason why I post, right? If I see something,
you're bored. Remember, you're all these inspections you're doing.
All these inspections I'm doing, and I like to think half the time that my job is actually quite humorous. I don't think people would understand what we go through. You know, you're walking through properties, and there's the agony, and there's and there's hoarders, and there's all sorts of weird things going on, and so I have to laugh half the time. So a lot of the posts that I have are just sort of funny because it's almost borderline ridiculous at times.
Actually, you've just encouraged me to actually start doing more of this because there's some batshit crazy stuff that we both see in our business. We're like, you actually saw this one time, no joke. I was at a property and the back building was being held up by coffins. Like they had 4 coffins.
You need to take a picture of that. I was showing a property a couple weeks ago and there was a sock on the lockbox. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, what? Kind of like, you know how in university there'd be socks on the door handles and it means something?
That means go away.
So I was wondering, I was like, do I go in? Do I not go in? Are they telling me something? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, don't go in the house. So it's just those funny things, we're working 9, 10, 12, 15 hours a day sometimes.
You are?
And you got to keep it funny, and you've got to, I am. And you've got to see the lighter side.
Yeah,
also, you will go insane.
you will lose your mind doing this. But I mean, have you ever go to the Facebook group called The Lighter Side of Real Estate if you haven't been on it yet?
Oh, and they've got Instagram.
You?
and yeah, I follow them. It's hilarious. Oh yeah. Then you just get the good stuff. You just get the pictures.
All right, Sarah. I'm ushering a challenge between you and me. We have to find the strangest thing. Whoever gets the strangest one in the next 5 days wins. What do we win? I don't know, but maybe it's just.
But I'd like to know what's at stake here.
A Canadian dollar.
Why, Greg? You want to buy a Coke at the machine in the office?
A pop, you mean?
That's right.
You'd need $2 Canadian for that.
Oh, okay. All right, so tell us how. I'm curious about 2 things. So I think it's important for people to realize that you don't stress about, not only do you not stress, but you don't, it doesn't sound like you care at all about other realtors following you on Instagram and how that's benefited you. I just talked to somebody about this the other day. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
no, actually, I want them to. I want them to, and I'm all about sharing. It's funny because I'll follow, especially in my local market, I'll follow some of the realtors. Sometimes they'll block me and then unfollow me because they think that I don't know, that I'm looking for
you're going to steal their best stuff.
Or it makes them feel, maybe, or it makes them feel uncomfortable. But like I said, I'm very open to sharing, only because I think that's the only way that we can get ahead in our industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Realtors are compared to used car salesmen, and if we're not supporting each other, it's very easy for the general public to say, well, I don't like so-and-so, and then the realtor's going to agree with them. If we're supporting each other, we create that cohesive unit, and it's only going to do better for our entire industry moving forward, and that is one of my platforms. So if I'm standing for anything through this account, is being very supportive of each other. We can all get there.
That's exactly the way I view it as well. That's why I'm the head corporate trainer for my brokerage here. I literally give them my whole playbook. I'm ready to give, and your mindset is the way my mindset is. Give, because if, like you doing the Instagram and sharing this with us and sharing this with everyone who's watching this or reading this down the road, you know what? You're giving to thousands of people, and they're going to come to you and hopefully be able to send you referrals or just use you as a resource or anything else. It just keeps going forward in a positive way.
Well, and sometimes what it gives them is hope. I get messages quite often about, hey, Sarah, I was having a really crappy day. Thank you for making me laugh. Thank you for helping me see it through. And that makes everything worth it.
You've given me
I have
Instagram.
Nothing. I have nothing to gain from these people. You know, the number of realtors I have following me from the States is massive. I'd say the big chunk of my followers are realtors in the States, and I've got nothing to gain from them. But when I see messages like that, it's heartwarming, and it helps me feel that as an industry that we really have something to stand for and to move forward, and we can be proud of each other.
No, I agree with you 100%. And I think the people that are getting something out of this, they're looking for something, and you're the provider for it. I know you started off in the beginning. You said that you've been doing your business side for how long again? Your business Instagram, and do you keep your business and
10
personal
months.
separate?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at I believe it's your business one. You have 6,401 followers, and you did that in 10 months. Did you boost or pay for any kind of, anything, or did this all come organically based upon what you're doing?
It was all very organic. So you can tell when somebody has paid for followers.
Okay.
Yes. One,
yes,
you're not gonna understand. I know you're not gonna understand half of the followers' names, but more than that, the interaction isn't there. So if somebody is, but no, hear me out.
You know how that sounded, right?
Yeah, no, totally. You won't. You go through that, and I've looked into it before just because I wanted to know more about it.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't get the interaction or engagement. So if you post something, and yes, not every post is going to get 50 comments, but if you get 300 likes, which is a lot of likes, and you get 2 comments, chances are a lot of that is paid for, because it's all about the interaction. So, and the money in Instagram, and I say money meaning, referrals or, your client relationships, all comes from that interaction. You can't pay for it.
That's
so
true.
If you notice certain accounts that have so many followers, but then they'll have 1 comment after every single picture. You look at other people that have less followers than I do, but they've got tons of comments. At the end of the day, it's the number of comments that are actually worth more than the likes.
That's sort of the genuine authenticity of the followership and their engagement with you.
Exactly, and it means that they have somewhat of a vested interest and that they're actually following you in your journey, or they feel like they've got something to add to that. And I really like to see that, and there's nothing I like better when somebody even tags one of their friends in something I've posted, because it resonates with them.
Interesting. Now, do you find that people want to see more selfies of you doing something, or do they want to see like the property? What do you get a larger interaction engagement with? You in the shot or out in the shot?
In the shot. So pictures with people in them get 2 times the number of likes.
That explains a lot.
That
Here's my
explains a
problem.
lot. So if
So you haven't been taking enough selfies, Greg? That's the
Apparently.
problem. That's what you've arrived at.
Yes, Matt, and I'm going to tag you in every one of them.
Great. Hang on. I
but
just
it's that
unfollowed you on
personal-
Instagram.
It's that personality behind it, right? They want to know who they're interacting with. So, you know, I put in pictures all the time of my listings, but every second or third photo, you really should be putting something in there that's of you or what you're doing, and that's what gets the engagement.
Okay, that makes sense. You know, I just now I know I've been doing it severely wrong forever.
That is not surprising.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that it's wrong. It's been trial and error for me too, right? I mean, we kind of talked off air about how I even realized that this was the path that I was on, and it was a complete fluke. So
well, yeah, tell people that story of the one post that kind of took things off unexpectedly, just out of the blue.
Well, yeah, so I was having, you know, it was back in October. I was having a horrible day. It was a Friday afternoon, getting pretty late in the day. I was mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted. I lost out on 2 properties in one day, and I was pissed. I was so mad. I was so mad at myself. I was like, what is wrong with me? Clearly, I shouldn't be in real estate. I'm doing something wrong. I need a new career. I need to just give up.
Wow.
You know, and you're thinking, but things happen, and you're thinking horribly about yourself. Like, what am I even doing? This is so difficult. It's exhausting. And I got home, and I did what any good agent does, and I opened a bottle of wine.
I was going to say drank.
And I started, and I drank, yeah. So I drank, and I started drinking, and I was like, oh, this is horrible. It's all my fault. And then I started to think about my clients, and I was like, well, one lost out on a property that wasn't really the right property for them. Another one, the home inspection came back, and it was absolutely horrible. So they didn't do anything wrong. They shouldn't have, you know, it was actually good that they got out of those contracts. So as I'm drinking, I'm like, well, they didn't do anything wrong. So it wasn't their fault. It actually worked out for the best for them. And as I keep drinking, I'm like, well, they didn't do anything wrong, and I didn't do anything wrong. If I had to do it all over again, I would have done the same thing. It just happened. And as soon as I realized it just happened, I was like, well, then why am I so upset about this? It's easy to take these things very personally. And of course, by then I was halfway through the bottle, so I was like, oh, wait, it's not my fault. Oh my God, it's not my fault. This is amazing. And I had some music clarity, total wine clarity. And I had some music playing in my apartment, and I started dancing around, and my dog was jumping on me, and I've got a bit of an open door policy at my place, and so a girlfriend walked in, and she saw me acting like an idiot in my living room, jumping around with a bottle of wine, and she started videoing it. And of course, by the time, as one does, and of course, by the time I'm finished the bottle, I think it's a great idea to put it on Instagram.
That look amazing. Those moves haven't been seen ever.
Oh, and they're horrible. And if you look back, I laugh at that post all the time. But I put it up, and I was basically like, look, I feel horrible about myself. I lost out on this, but I'm literally learning how to shake it off. And yeah, you know, 10 years into my career, I'm finally figuring out a way not to take it so personally, because I think as agents, we really do that a lot. And a funny thing kind of started to happen. I started to get a whole bunch of likes, but not just like a whole bunch, but like 100, 200, 300. And then I started to get a lot of comments. And it was all of these agents that are saying, we get you, we've been there too. Oh my God, I'm so glad I saw this. I feel the exact same way. Thank you, you've got this. And a lot of support and encouragement within that real estate community. You know, and over 500 likes later, I think there's like 150 comments on it. And it's all about how people are dealing kind of with that rejection. Because I was like, listen, I got not just a little bit rejected today, but majorly, and I felt like it was my fault. And people they related to that. That was my first post that was really relatable. And people felt like they knew who I was. So I started to get messages from people, you know, wishing encouragement back and forth. And then a few days later, I got a phone call. And I got a phone call from an agent in Toronto. And I'm worried because I'm like, why is this person that I don't know calling me? And she goes, yeah. She goes, Sarah, I saw your post on Instagram. Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Oh, geez. She says, I saw your post on Instagram, and I actually feel like we're really alike. I looked back through some of your posts, and I feel like I kind of know your personality from what I've seen. And I feel like we're so alike that my clients would think that we're really alike. And if my clients like working with me, they'll probably like working with you. And good news for you, they're moving to Calgary, and I want to give them your name.
Sweet.
So that was the first referral that I got from somebody that I had never met before, that had saw me kind of acting like a bit of a fool on Instagram, but just kind of dealing with the fact that I felt like a huge reject. And since that time, you know, that was the first one. I've had 5 since then. Wow. And it's just people that feel that they can relate to you, and they feel comfortable knowing that they can pass their clients on to me. And it's been amazing. I never saw that coming.
Yeah. Well, they can commiserate with you. They, you know, like you said, this is a very lonely business, and a lot of the times people think that they're going through, you know, an ordeal with a client, with the loss of a contract, with whatever it is. They're like, I'm the biggest blanking moron on planet Earth. How could I let this happen? And then you sit there and be like, oh no, there's a drunk girl over there too that did the same thing. Oh look, she just like
exactly.
All right.
Exactly. And it's just learning how to just get out of that
just
rut.
like me. That's right. Yeah. I mean, I know you and me, Greg. Like when we get drunk and we're frustrated, there's just nothing we like better than just getting up and dancing it out.
Yeah.
Just have to get it out. Just get it out of our system.
Get the hate out. Just gotta get the hate out.
All right. So one last thing I wanted to make sure that we give you a chance to touch on. We've got about 5 minutes left, and then we'll wrap it up. So Sarah, how has Instagram, or how can you use kind of Facebook and Instagram together to build up your presence on Facebook and kind of cross-promote between those two platforms? Because for most people, if they're dealing with, let's say, a second and third time home sellers or home buyers, they're looking in the like 30 to 50 demographics, so they're all over Facebook.
Oh, of course. I can't turn on my Facebook, and this is why I don't go on it often, without seeing a million ads that are catered to realtors, and it's driving me insane. So what I've done, and now because you can actually push through your posts, so I can share a post on Instagram and I can push it through to Facebook. So I push it through to my Facebook work page, and then you can boost that post. So I don't do it with all of them. I'm very picky with it, and I don't boost posts on, does this make sense? I don't boost posts on Facebook that are like everybody else's. So I don't boost the posts of my listings. I'll boost a post of a really nice sunset that I took within the city, or being at an event somewhere, something that shows a little bit more authenticity and personality, and those are the posts that I boost. So I share often between my Instagram and Facebook. It's actually helped increase the number of followers I have on Facebook, and yet I'm never on Facebook. So when I do go on and boost these posts, I can spend $20, and all of a sudden it's boosted to 8,000 people. You start getting a lot of likes, and then you get people that are starting to like your page. And you have to be very selective about what posts you do boost. But I've definitely seen that follow through and that kind of spillover between the two platforms.
Interesting. So you take it, like I've on my phone, I've taken a photo, Instagram, I post it, and I tap Facebook, Instagram, do a hashtag, do a little description, bam, it goes out, hits my my Facebook page, and then I can then on Facebook take that and then tag my team page or whatever else, right?
It will actually just, when you set up your Instagram, you can set it up so that it goes right to your team page. So I take myself as Sarah Johnston, the individual, completely out of it, so it actually shares right to my business page. That's something, I think it was only about December that came out for Instagram, so it shares directly to my business page now.
Well, that would make sense. I don't think I've been on Instagram since December. So
there we go.
All right, we found the first problem, McDaniel. Yeah. Second problem is hearing yourself.
We've uncovered the issue. It's miraculous.
It's the human factor again.
It's human error over there.
Yeah. All right, so Sarah, anything that you've noticed, just getting super tactical for a second, so anything that you've noticed on the best times to post when you get the most engagement?
Definitely. So the best times to post during the week are from about, and I'm going to say it Mountain Standard Time, but it's wherever you are, wherever the majority of your followers are from, and I'm very specific with this. Anytime from 4:20 to 5 p.m., okay, so you've got a 40-minute window that you're going to get the most number of responses, or after 7 p.m. before 9. So that's during the week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're going to post in the morning, because a lot of businesses post in the morning, but they all post like at 9 a.m., avoid 9 a.m. like the plague.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are going to post in the morning, I'll do it like at 7 a.m. Right? So that when people are getting up and they're waking up, they're looking at Instagram right away. They're looking at their social media sites.
Totally.
So that's what they're going to see right away. For weekends, I get a lot of traffic at about 8 or 9 p.m. on Friday nights and Saturday nights. Us realtors clearly don't have anything else to do. And everybody's playing on their phone.
Naturally.
Naturally.
Well, although we're suffering through time with the family and.
Oh, Matt, don't even say that. Oh, that's so hard.
Oh, where's my phone?
Oh, I need a drink in my phone immediately.
That's
Preferably
right.
together.
Exactly.
Like, hang on, the glass in one hand, phone in the other hand.
So you just want to get out there when you think most people are going to be looking, right? So towards the end of the workday when they're getting ready to leave, right when they've gotten up, and then when they're going to bed.
Okay. I mean, I know for Facebook, I know you avoid it like the plague, but I know the best times to post on that are going to be from 9 a.m. to about 11:30, and then from 4 to 5, because that's right before they're looking to get off work. They're pretending they're like they're sending a work email. They're like, ooh, Instagram, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to know. I mean, if you're going to post something and it goes completely by the wayside, like Sarah was saying, if you're post at 9, but you get washed away in a, flood of everyone else, I mean, you got to stand out a little bit, and that's great advice. Great advice.
And that goes back to just like if you're going to be on these platforms, and this is one thing that you hear all that if you work in any kind of social media or you do anything like that, and you work with real estate agents, the first question you get is, well, can I just take X and post it over to Y? Like,
no.
Oh my God, no. No, you cannot. You are not allowed to do that. Stop that. Just like that.
Stop being yourself.
Yes, please don't. It's hurting me.
Use the platform. If you're going to be on it, if you're going to post to it, use it, and then you will figure stuff out like that because you'll actually be using it and it will be authentic.
Oh,
exactly.
Authenticity.
Yes. All right.
And it's trial and error, right? You're gonna find out. And the only reason I found out those times were just from when I would post things, and I'd see what kind of engagement I get.
Yeah, and you make a good point about sticking around. So once you post something to stick around and interact, that's one thing I'd never heard him say this before, but I was watching one of Gary V's episodes on YouTube, and he says that anytime an episode of Ask Gary V posts to YouTube, he spends the next 90 minutes interacting with his tribe and with his audience after the episode goes live. It's insane. I mean, that guy is devoted.
And think about it. Think about it. If you're going down, you've posted something, and you're following those hashtags that you're religiously following. If you're liking those other posts that people have made, that means that they're online right now too. So what is the biggest chance that you've got for interaction with them?
Probably pretty high.
Right? Because they're online right now. So if I'm liking all of these other realtors' posts because they've all tagged Realtor Life, and they've posted 1, 2, 3 minutes ago, they're online too. So if you're going to be interacting with them, it's immediately. It's not 4 or 5 hours later, because then they're only sporadically checking their phones and checking the app. So you want to get on top of that right away.
Question for you. For someone like me who's, photo retarded, and I couldn't find a right angle if I tried, should I be worried about it, or just get out of my own way and just start taking photos and posting them, right? Start telling the story of my life like you're doing. Start doing that and just stop worrying about it.
Oh, I've got some horrible pictures. If I went back through
I know,
all
I've
of
seen.
the things, I'm looking at them. I'm looking at them, and I'm like, whoa, what was I thinking? Oh, shut it.
Correct.
I'm thinking, what was I
I've
thinking
seen
right there?
Don't worry, we're in different countries.
Exactly right. Reach across that border. But just
passport first, sir.
Just be authentic and be you, and you might not ever figure out your angles. That's fine, but that's more of a female thing, anyways. We want to make sure that the lighting is right and everything.
Well, this is your better side, as we were told, right?
This side.
There we go. There. No, don't do that. No. Yeah, there we go. Stay in that one. Thank you.
All right.
That's unbelievable.
So speaking of referrals, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you? And then let's make sure you give out the Instagram username so people know exactly how to follow you.
Yeah, Adventures in Real Estate YYC.
Yeah. And so if somebody wants to send you a referral.
Yeah, you can contact me through that too, though, right? Because there is messaging services through Instagram, and that's usually how it starts.
Is it really?
I mean, or Sarah at sarahjohnston.ca works too.
Easy emails.
Easy emails. Old school, right?
Old school.
Oh, it's sad.
Yeah. Type and into an email system.
God,
there's
the
no
humanity.
photos. Oh, there's no photos involved. I don't think I could do that.
No. The word like black text on a white background. The humanity. Okay.
It's the worst.
Okay. All right, that is unfortunately that is all the time we have. So we probably did not even scratch the surface on the actual tactical stuff that you have for Instagram. So you prepared extremely well for the episode. Thank you very much for putting the time into doing that. That's awesome. We would love to have you back again to dig more into the tactical stuff. And what would be really fun to do is to get you and Rod Griffith on together. Rod's the guy that does that at a very high level here in San Diego, and do an Instagram panel where you guys kind of share and really get down into the dirt and the nuts and bolts of how to do it and how to get more followers. And that'd be a great episode. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be amazing to get those two on there. They would blow the doors off this thing.
Oh yeah, I have lists. We have not scratched the surface. I've got lists.
You're a lister, huh?
I'm a lister.
That's right. Well, until you have lists of the lists that you want to write, you're not really achieving the top. That's right.
I do. I have 3 lists in front of me right now.
Nice.
You have Hobbit pads too. Looks like.
All right, guys. So, just a quick thank you to the people that help support the show, Viral Marketing for helping make it happen. Check them out at getviral.com. They're great for. They manage Greg's real estate video blog there in the East Bay. So check that out. And then if you want to learn how to build a dominant real estate team, check out reupodcast.com/Jeff to learn all about the team building workshop that Jeff runs in Omaha. If you want to support the ladies that are behind the show, go to patreon.com/reupodcast, and you can donate whatever you feel like on a monthly basis for the podcast. Is there anything that I'm forgetting, Greg?
Nope, not that I can remember. Oh, except for the McDaniel challenge, Matthew.
That's right.
You have to do the challenge. I challenge you to do the challenge.
Okay.
Like Sarah, I have challenged her for a photo off. We'll see what happens here in the next couple of days. See what kind of batshit crazy photos each one will get. And no cheating, by the way.
Well, what's cheating? And you didn't specify that beforehand, so.
So therefore, cheating is built in.
You entered into the agreement planning to cheat?
I have thousands of photos already on my phone to choose from.
I'm going to go check the timestamps. No, I don't even know where to look. But take the McDaniel challenge, guys. I take the time to do these calls with you guys because I truly love you. I truly care about you. I truly want to see you succeed in this business. I'm not full of shit like a lot of people may think. When you get on the phone and you actually hear what we talk about on these calls, you guys will understand what I'm talking about. I want to make you a better agent, and hell, I want to make you a better person. Yeah, good luck. But what I can do is I can donate about an hour and a half to 2 hours of my time every evening, Monday through Thursday. Sit down and do a free coaching call with you guys. Best number is the same number I gave in the beginning: 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. Matt, we are booked. I have May. Yes, that's right. May 16th is my next opening.
Good Lord, dude.
I know, bro. We're gonna have to do like.
We're gonna have to change this up to like a Noah's Ark thing where they come in 2 by 2.
I would honestly, I think that would be good. Kind of condense this down. But yeah, guys, take it. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Sarah, you're an amazing agent up in Canada. You're also very, very good on social media, it looks like, and we all have a ton to learn from you. So we look forward to having you back. And yeah, I think I'm done with my rant.
Okay. All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much. We'll be back on Wednesday, same time, 3 Pacific, with another top producer. We'll be interviewing Melinda Elmer, so we've got another great episode. And then Friday, we've got another one, and another one after that, another one after that. So I don't even know at this point. Oh my God, we're getting up. So anyway, until then, enjoy, guys. We'll see you soon.
See ya.